What's up? Waiting for
Yeah, you
pins.
like that video?
That was something. So, okay, so here's the deal. I seen a video on it, and it definitely looks like it's bugged for a few different things with the dragons related. So we have one of two choices here. We can either agree to just handshake no Mel until this bug is fixed, because it really feels bad. Because I believe Mel was played last night. Um, if we handshake it, no Mel, then we're all good. If we do not want to handshake it and Mel is enabled, then whatever happens, happens. I'm not. It's going to be hard to judge intent if somebody's like trying to do it, or it even looks like it might not even be intentional. It's just weird with the
In that case,
reflect.
I'd rather just handshake because
Yeah,
that's something that I don't want to see in the game. If
Okay.
that's like going
that's
on.
fair. Like, I don't want like if I win, I don't want to win because of a bug like that.
Okay. All right. I'm glad we came to that agreement. I will keep an eye. I will look. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was hesitant to trade my base for the dragon, so that's good for me.
Okay,
It was
so
as game breaking as the Yasuo bug that happened, where he used to be able to Q and hit everyone on the everything on the map.
there's some big wacky bugs, but this is the first one that I feel like is actually pretty game changing and not the most difficult to replicate here. So,
Yeah,
all right, so we are agreeing the series, the handshake, no Mel. I'll make an announcement in the lobby here, and then I will do my due diligence to research it a little more after the series and see if we're gonna disable her for just this week only, or
until
what
it's
else
fixed.
until it's fixed. Yes.
All right,
So, all right, agreed to handshake it. Thank you,
Yep,
gentlemen.
yep,
you bet.
yep.
Yo, what is up, everybody? We've got a big week 5 matchup featuring some really good friends of mine here, former teammates, and just two teams I overall have the utmost respect to. So we have Caster Curse versus Big Brain All Mechanics coming to you today. So we are into draft here. Caster Curse getting rid of the Nidalee. Big Brain getting rid of the Udyr. Um, Big Brain now also getting rid of Pens' Karma. I don't think Pens has even had a chance to play this Karma, this split, or if he has, it's only been for a very limited amount of games. So that is where we were at. I do see an ad break coming in, so we will come into the draft here. Let me turn the music down just a hair. And so Caster Chris responding with the Caitlyn. Caitlyn getting taken away from Shreeze. Shreeze and Athiu has had kind of an up and down split as a bot lane. We've seen some games where they performed really well, and we've seen in some games where they just didn't look like they were on the same page here. But another shot getting taken at trees here with this Varus ban. An Echo getting taken out. Croesus as one of our Echo mid merchants here. And has looked really good when he's allowed to play it. So, first pick here for Big Brain All Mechanics is a Vi. Vi, a champion we haven't seen that often here coming out in this rec league. She kind of fell out of favor, I felt like, especially when Ari kind of came out. And then some of these late game ADCs have ways of getting around her point and click ult. But for Caster Curse, we see the response in the Amumu and the Cassiopeia, which Cassio, another one of Croesus's mid laners, that is very good. Amumu, pretty simple lockdown, so nothing, fairly simple to execute, but still brings a lot of crowd control and CC. Big Bring on Mechanics, though, locking in their bot lane, so we have a Zaya Rakan, the Lovers duo, coming out here for Big Bring All Mechanics. And then Caster Curse doubles down, gives one-handed gaming his Trundle here. We've seen him cause a lot of hell on stuff like the Trundle, the set. He's really, really good at being able to just mow down turrets and be just a big, big pain in the ass up in the side lanes here. But we do see one of the answers, the Trundle, getting taken away in the York. Big Brain All Mechanics now looks like they're focusing these bans in the bot lane here. Getting rid of the Milio. We've seen a lot of the Lucian X combos coming out of Caster Curse. Lucian Milio, Lucian Nami. So getting rid of the Lucian here. Let's see what Bird wants to answer on. He is a big Zaya enthusiast, but he's played a lot of Lucian. We've also seen a couple of different things out of him in the Kog'Maw and the Yunara. He's the only one when Yunara was enabled, busted out and have a really, really great performance on it. So let's see what the answer is here for Caster Curse after this ban phase. We've seen the Poppy come out, so a little bit of a flex here. Amumu has a chance of going support, but most likely we've seen Poppy there. And Poppy is a really solid answer into the two-man mobility coming out of Big Brains with the Viracon. So, let's see what Big Brain picks here. Oh, and a Ziggs coming out here. So Ziggs mid coming out for Kazulan here. Ziggs is a champion that I think is extremely slept on here in the Rec League, and I've actually came back to being a pretty big Ziggs merchant myself here. So let's see what's going on with this. The Alawi pick for Leandathor is a little interesting. She's really good at standing her ground, but she has a lot of champions that want to go forward here. Maybe it's just his answer to Trundle. I don't even think it's the greatest answer to Trundle here, but curious to see what the answer for Caster Curse will be here. This looks like it'll be an 80 carry pick coming out. Let's see what Bird wants to take here. Yunara. Okay, so Yunara coming out on R5. I will note that Mel has been handshaked disabled by both teams. There is a big Mel bug involving the Dragons that has came to light today. From what I'm being told, I was pretty much AFK for most of the day, and just got done with a scrim, so wasn't aware of this, but teams brought it to my attention, and we just decided that I will look into it more, but due to one series are being played, I left it up to the teams to decide if they wanted to handshake or let it go. They decide to handshake and not pick Mel this series due to the bug. So that is where we are at here. So yeah, here. This is gonna be a very interesting one. Kazulan has been known to being a little more of like reserve mid. He definitely supports Cosmic Mo and a lot of the moves that he makes around the map, but he's not afraid of just kind of playing safe, dropping maybe some resources there just to make sure his team is in a much better position. To where I think it's a kind of the opposite here from Croesus on this Casio. He's very aggressive. He trades a lot in lane, and he is not afraid to fight. So we will see what comes out of here. I really do like the Ziggs into what Caster Kurchis is showing. The only concern I'm having is with the Unara pick in the bot lane. I think the bot lane is pretty stable, but in team fights, there's not much utility to help her survive, say, a Vi Rakan with Ziggs over the top coming at her. So um, I do have concerns on that part of the draft, but we'll see what happens here. Alawi is going to be kind of the wild card for Big Brain. Um, I don't know how great of a matchup it is into Trundle, but I feel like Trundle offers a lot more disruption in this type of team fight environment. But I also feel like there is a chance that if Caster Curse just blindly runs in the Big Brains comp here, you're having Ziggs, Zone Control, Zaya Feathers on the ground, and Alawi invites you to run into her. So it'd be quite interesting. Though Cassio can deal with Alawi quite a bit on the side lane here. Ziggs versus Trundle. Ziggs can clear waves pretty safely as well. So we're just gonna have to see how this game goes here. I did not post it in the chat yet. Alright, and we are done with the pick ban. I will say we do have to swap these two teams here as Big Brain elected to take blue side, I believe. Not, I don't quite remember who the home team was, but this is what we got here. Let me turn on streamer mode for Discord so I'm not getting just pinged out of my mind here. So, if you guys here in the chat, let me know what you think. Which team comp do you like, and overall, what team you're favoring here. I will be reading those while I run a 3-minute ad, and we should be ad free for this game. So we'll see you here for game one of Caster Curse versus Big Brain All Mechanics.
A summoner has disconnected.
Alright, so we do have a pause here. It looks like Penn's had an issue loading into the game here, so catching up on the chat. Souls, yeah, Trundle diff. Souls, what's your thought on the Trundle Alawi matchup? I can honestly say I haven't seen it um, in a bit. Okay, so I guess Croesus here. The dog off the leash comment was crazy. Yeah, Croesus, I mean, that's kind of what they've been doing with you, man. I feel like, they just let you do you and then just kind of supplement around it, so. Um, Pins with the McDanks Wi-Fi. Trundle can mess her up. See, I thought like Trundle was perfectly okay with that matchup, but they picked the Alawi into the Trundle, so yeah, I wasn't 100% sure the thoughts on that. This is the changed Alawi. I'm not sure anymore. Yeah, Alawi did get some changes this patch. I have not really read into this patch too much. So, I believe the test of spirit, they tweaked it to where the spirit isn't out as long, but the levels into it allow the tentacle smashes to be more repetitive. So, I think there's a world where like Emax Alawi could return, or maybe like 3 points Q into Emax. So, I mean, yeah, as a top laner Souls, I bet you enjoyed that change because no one likes leaning into Alawi. I can say as a mid laner, I wasn't a fan of leaning into Alawi. So, but looks like pins did load back in. So just kind of waiting to see if everybody's are here. Depends on the champs. That's fair. And it looks like we are unpaused and ready to go here. And it looks like my client just broke with that, so let's reconnect here. Alright, I think we are good to go here. So the two big things I'm looking out for in this matchup is how will Big Brains handle one-handed gaming on this Trundle top. He always seems to mow down turrets. But then also how this Ziggs mid ends up working out. This is our first Ziggs of the split, and it's not even played bot lane, it's played mid here, which I'm 100% for. Here, looks like he's got all the right runes and everything, in my opinion. And this is more of a reserve pick that people have been trying to... they've been trying to match Croesus's like aggressive laning style. So, seeing something reserved and just kind of okay to just trade farm with Croesus and outrange him is going to be a very, very interesting approach here. We'll see how much practice Kazulan has put into this Ziggs. He used to play AD carry, so I'd feel like he definitely has some experience on the Ziggs. So, both top laners going with the D-Blade start here, so interesting. Both of them want to be aggressive. Pin's using the buckler to get Guardian out, so we do see quite a bit of damage coming out of Bird here, but Rakan's healing on Q is quite useful. Let's see, both these teams really do like fighting for level 2 here. Wait, is the new champ legal? The new champ has been legal since week 4, my friend. I told your captain that. I posted it in the captain. I've posted it in the captain's lounge. She was disabled for week 3 and she was allowed in week 4. I even think he reacted to it. Posted in announcements. Okay, that's fair. That I will accept that. I think posting it in the announcements is very fair. But I asked all the captains to react to it so they have knowledge of it. And if you can't count on your captain, man, that's on you. We see Croesus doing really well. Oh, but the barrier comes out as Kazulan ends up... Oh, getting the first blood onto Croesus here. So the Ziggs pick, pretty clever here. Satcheling him into the turret, even though Croesus had barrier. Barrier's not that great early, and tower shots are really, really strong. We see Etrium, though, in the bot side going after the scuttle, but bot lanes kind of converse, take over it, and Mo will end up taking his bot scuttle. So big first impression here on this Ziggs mid. One-handed, stacking up fleet footwork here on the Leander Thor. Let's see, a little bit of health coming back here. Q, though, forces Leanne to flash away here. If I remember correctly, Trundle's Q does lower the AD or saps AD, so makes everything coming out from Malawi harder. Cosmic, though, up top lane, trying to help his top laner back. Kazulan, though, getting hit by Croesus' Q, using the C4 to get away here, so still some really nice trading from Croesus here. Athiu positioning really nicely here not to get E'd into that walk here. Vi doing his best to try and protect this lead. Kazulan, though, even though the trading has been roughly even. Oh, that's C4. Okay. I was worried he's about to forget about the C4 and go straight into Croesus here. But Kazulan playing the poke game here is not is holding his own. Oh, and a 1-for-1 trade here in the mid lane. Nice C4 to CC up Croesus so he doesn't get out of the big bomb here. So 1-for-1 here on the mid laners. Kazuhan came to play today. I love it. This is kind of the member of Big Brains that, you know, is very reserved and overall is just there to support his team. But getting 2 solo kills here early may be the thing he needs. Etrium, though, flashing. Not level 6. Went after Athiu. Shrieks, though, burning the barrier here. Bird, though, trying to hit him through the minions. Mo is here to support his bot lane. So the big brunt and first punch that we've seen Caster Curse throw at teams. Big Brains is standing up right here and able to brawl with them. One-handed, though. All-inning Leandathor here. Has the flash Q up, but doesn't need it as the Trundle ult will sap the health away. And so we start to see this Trundle picking up steam here. This is worrisome. Hate that champ. Which champ? Trundle or Alawi? Or both? Trundle. You did say it. It was Trundle diff. So, but getting 2 plates as well. I'm curious to see where Trundle goes with this first item here. If it's going to be like Blade, Trinity, or Hydra. I think all of them can do quite well. Kazulan, though, missing the minefield, but W and Cross back. We do see Cosmic Mo here in the Dragon Pit trying to sneak this first dragon, but the bot lane for Caster Curse is here. Bird is here, not level 6 though. Oh, Athiu ends up fail flashing out, but still ends up Wing here. And it looks like Caster Curse is going to pick up this first Air Drake. Ult was burned by Kazulan on that dragon fight as well. Oh, barrier coming out from Crosus here. Kazulan has flash coming up here. You have Ziggs empowered auto, which is really, really useful. Shreeze, though, just hit the level 6, has ult up. Pen's kind of posturing that he might want to dive here, but I think he noticed that the level 6 was up as well. He's going Hydra, Triforce, he always does. I mean, he's the Trundle master. People would continue to keep letting him have this Trundle. Pull back from Shreeze, ends up going wide. Bird, though, able to crash this wave. And now the next real fight, in my opinion, is going to be after these grubs here. We do see Pens backing and beelining for these grubs here. So Caster Curse making it a point to try and get one-handed snowball in this lane even more with these grubs. One-handed pushes it in and looks like it's ready to respond here. So we're going to have 3 here for Caster Curse on the scrubs here. Athiu also running that way here. So Cosmic Mo getting out. Etrium's also here. I love the build coming out of Etrium here. Going tank. There's no need for him to build any damage with the Trundle on the map. But Caster Curse putting up this wall here, daring them to come into this pit. So Alawi, though, coming out. Red team ends up getting all 3 grubs, but Kazulan's putting out a boatload of damage here. But the rest of Big Brains will fall. Alawi down, Rakan down, Cosmic Mo's Vise down. And, I mean, Kazulan is putting out. Oh, gets a sneaky kill there on the Etrium. Boy, Kazulan showing some work here on this. Oh, unfortunately misses the Q, misses the W. Still can kite away though. Q missed out of Crosus here. This is a very tense duel here. Kazulan does not have ult and ends up getting taken down from Crosus. So, and unfortunately, oh, that was not a shutdown going over the Crosus. Okay, so really nicely done there. So, Crosus picking up a lot of resources here in this fight. Pens, though, going after Shreeze, forcing him to burn the ult. Athiu misses the knock-up here. So, it looks like we got a little bit of a scuffle here in the top lane river as well.
A summoner has disconnected.
Okay. Who, Athy, you disconnected. So both supports having some connection issues here. It took me a sec to process that chat log there. Zix is gonna have to put the team on his back. A system requirement for tourney play. Look, if it was system requirement, I probably wouldn't have passed, and none of these games would have gotten casted until I built my new PC. So, um, no, we're not. We're
A
not doing that.
summoner has reconnected.
No Chromebooks. So, looks like Athiu is reconnected here. And looks like we are returned here for the game. Probably have a little bit of a spectator delay coming out. There we go. But let's just talk about this game state a little bit. 3 kills to 7 here. Caster Curse is up a little over 2k gold, but this Ziggs is becoming a nightmare to walk into here. As Kazulan pulling this out here in game 1. I'm not a big fan of Seraph's Embrace onto poke mages. I feel like if your positioning is really good, you don't ever need Seraphs unless it's into like an assassin. So cut the pauses in the YouTube videos. Maybe we'll see. Oh, nice flash coming out of Croesus here. And Croesus ends up taking one out. Ult coming out here from Mo.
Disconnected.
And another pause coming out. Just wanted to pause the dunk. Well, here's the issue is in the rule books, you are not allowed to pause during any type of fighting. I understand that that is a very gray area when it comes to the rules. So not a big fan of that, but understandable that I think Cassio is going to die anyway because this is in the middle of the Vi ult. So yeah, this is kind of unfortunate, but it looks like Athiu is just resetting his PC to make sure we're okay here. So. Oh, Victor Apple, what's up, man? It's been a minute since you popped in here. How you been?
A summoner has reconnected.
Looks like Athiu has reconnected here, so we should be getting back to this game real quickly. Nice work hitting the freeze frame. Oh. I think we should be getting back to the game here soon. And Cosmic Mo though was did end up taking out Croesus here, but we have a little bit of a spectator delay just after pause, something we always get. We'll see if red buff heals enough here. This turret shot might take out Cosmic, or is his passive up? Well, his passive will not be up to tank it, so. And Cosmic Mode does go down, so a double kill over to Crosus here. Crosus picking up quite a bit of resources from this Void Grub fight. Now 6-3-2 after getting solo killed first blood by Kazulan and then trading the 1-for-1 here. So this is still going to be a pretty big Cassiopeia, and it's going to be something that's extremely difficult to run into. The fact that there is quite a bit of engage plus Ziggs coming over the top, I would have loved to see the Roa Seraphs coming out of Crosus, but he's electing to go the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is still very much a useful item here. Leanthor trading some cooldowns here with one-handed. And Leanthor's, I mean, granted, down 2-0, gave over quite a few plates with one of those deaths. Is still, like, decently farmed into one-handed. So, this is, oh, but we see Etrium, though, going after FEU. He all-ins here. Amumu ult only hits one. Vi ult not back up yet. Bird sitting there throwing the orbs at both of them. But FEU down. We might see the second dragon go over here. One-handed, though, looking at potentially ganking here. And ends up getting it. Note that the grounded field for Cassiopeia stops Zig's satchel from popping him up. So nice grounded field from Crosus here. And it looks like they are going to get the second dragon. I thought he missed. Nope, he was grounded here. Ult coming out from Bird here. Mo trying to do his best. Shriek's feather pullback ends up catching nobody. Etrium and Crosus, though, are duoing this dragon. Exhaust comes out onto Bird here. Shriek's using the Xayah ult offensively. And then the channeled recalls coming out from the Lovers Duo bot lane here. Both ADs on Yuntol here. Both pretty equivalent. It's just the big difference is a lot of these resources onto Crosus here, so we'll see how this ends up working out. Two Drakes, though, for the Cassio, Yanara, Trundle team is quite useful here. But I'm very curious. We see potentially is this double. Well, Etrium, though, jumping on the Cosmic Mo here and ends up taking him out. So Mo getting grounded up off of that. Leanthor, though, trading back quite a bit here with one-handed. Black Cleaver's pretty useful here. Waiting to see which top laner gets anti-healing first. Nice flash here from Kazulan off the Etrium gank. One-handed, though. Ulting Leanthor. Leanne does not have ult here and is tanking the turret here. And one-handed ends up getting one again here against Leanthor's Alawi. So this Trundle is going to start becoming a nightmare to deal with. We're seeing two items completed from Crosus, but Kazulan kind of building a smidgen of components here. He needs to get himself on a full item here. I just don't think you ever complete this tier. You probably go for Blackfire Torch Leandries here, just because they're running into you, but if he's super afraid of the side laning versus Trundle, then Seraphs is a decent option. I just don't think it's the answer here. Nice, nice satchel though, but Croesus doing the flash barrier to take out Kazulan, so they're definitely focusing the Ziggs quite heavily, especially one-handed. This is now the third time he's came down from top lane. So, turret going down top and mid tier 1s. We do see Caster Curse did complete feats of strength here, but Hex Flash coming over for Pens. There's a 5-man bot, by the way. Ziggs TPing bot here. Shristo looking to turn it back. Rakan here. Big mind value coming out of Kazulan. Knock up from Athiu coming out. Ziggs, though, having a really big ult, but still just not enough oomph behind this Ziggs that got a few kills early now. And we're starting to see Caster Curse set the tempo for the rest of this game. They're playing this pretty fast. Trundle taking it to miss the mid lane turret. But Leanthor getting some comeback gold here on the top lane. But oh my lord, the Trundle damage on this turret. Vi ult coming back up here soon. Athiu potentially was looking for a knock up, but Pen's coming out and sparing one-handed's life there. Shristo flashing forward here and ends up walking into Croesus here one-handed, and Croesus take care of Shrees here. Athiu now in a world of trouble, not able to E out. Ult comes out by Kazulan, but overall did not get anybody down the lethal. Etrium, though, trying to 1v1 Cosmic Mo here. And this is going to be pretty close here, but Mo trying to get the escape out. And Pen's coming here with the Hex Flash. Yeah, I think they, instead of focusing to run away from that fight, I'm with you, Souls, that they should have just stand and fought and tried to get some gold return. Everybody on Caster Curse has a shutdown here, so if you go 2 for 2, you're instantly much better off into this fight. So, we do have Soul Point coming out. Oh, Leanthor getting picked off here. Unable to even ult. There was so much CC coming out of there. Athiu kind of positioning, looks like he wants to make a push after Croesus. But this Ziggs is now just so much further behind compared to the beginning. Shrees, though, getting dove here from Pens and one-handed. ult coming out here. Grounded field stopping this Vi, and Crosus is just way too big here. And this is a double kill and a 2v1 coming out of this Cassio. Yeah, I will give it to Big Brains. They stood tall in the laning phase and played it quite well here. But once the dominoes started to fall for Caster Curse, they just kept this tempo up and kept playing very loose, very fast, which is something that is very difficult for a engaged team like the Rakan to be able to work through. So, Otacon getting taken topside, 4 kills to 20, 13,000 gold lead here for Caster Curse. We see the Hullbreaker now coming out here for one-handed, so he's going to be a nightmare on these turrets. Nice flash coming out of Leander Thor here. Though just looking to try and stand his ground. Ends up getting the E onto Bird here. And almost ends up actually killing Big Sex Bird off of that. But ends up falling. Now they're going after one-handed here as he gets CC'd up by everybody. Pins his ult, ends up going short. Zig's ult ends up just barely leaving one-handed gaming, but he gets last hit autoed by Athiyu here, so shutdown going over to this Rakan. Nice counterattack from Big Brains here, going after one-handed as he was trying to split push his bot lane turret. Ends up giving over 1,000 gold to Athiyu. And while I'm not a support player, I don't think Dreammaker is the best support item here for a Rakan that's going to be going in. We do see a spicy second item here out of Etrium, going with the Malignance. But that is quite an interesting item. Baron is on the table. Soul Point, though, is up here for Caster Curse. Both teams kind of know they're in the brush here. Athiyu, though, being the sacrificial lamb for Big Brains. Leanne Thor does get knocked up. May have to burn the ult here, and does, but does not land the E beforehand. Nice satchel here from Kazulan. He's actually been playing his Ziggs quite well. The problem is the rest of the team is just so far ahead. One-handed, trying the 1v2. Sharice with a nice flash to get the pullback, but one-handed now. They're double killing the whole team. Potentially is going to take out Athiyu. Ends up ulting him. Vi charging up the Q here. And there's nothing stopping this Trundle. The rest of the team is taking Baron. Crosus is just deciding to push in mid. And this Trundle just got out of hand once laning phase ended here. Athiu getting locked up yet again here. Um, the rest of the team trying to fight back, but that ends up being a pretty big route here from Caster Curse. Again, a lot of this gold lead was like post 14 minutes once plates fell. Alright, let's go over here to our nice overlay. So, graphs, Zig's still doing the most amount of damage. This was a very clean, um, very nice game for the Zig's debut here in the Rec League. Had 2 solo kills against the Casio, which is really nice. But due to Athiu having some connection issues, they are going to bring in Hidekis 882 to sub for them. Alright, while we are waiting, we are going to run a 3-minute ad and we should come back with the draft for game 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Just again to kind of reiterate what I already said before we went to the ad break. So, Athiu, who was nice enough to join us in chat, was having some internet issues, and overall thought it would be um, beneficial to his team to kind of step down, and they have Hidekis, who is their sixth man joining. We gave Caster Kurst a few minutes to just re-scout and overall, feel comfortable going into that. So we will go over here to our game 2 draft. Again, Mel is disabled for the series due to a bug. I will investigate further and see if we want to disable her for the rest of the week. But that's where we're at. So, Big Brain All Mechanics looking to take the blue side here. Banning the Udyr. Caster Curse responds with the Nidalee. Big Brain going after the Karma. So the first two bans for Big Brain still consistent. Caster Curse also very consistent with the Caitlyn ban. Echo is again the same three. And actually these are same repeat bans from game 1 for both squads here. So let's see what Big Brain wants to throw out there. Trundle off the table for one-handed. Croesus, Cassio's off the table. Yanara was picked by Caster Curse in that win, so she is off the table as well here. So let's see what Big Brains wants to pick. And we have a Jhin coming out for Big Brains. So already looking like they're postured for a very trade heavy bot lane, depending on the support setups, but a lot of range. The W being very useful, the R just great team fighting, range damage, and everything. And Caster Curse picking the Milio here, so let's see what they pair with that. If we know Caster Curse, like we have been seeing him all split, this will most likely be a Lucian here, or they're going to pick up another power pick and come back to Lucian on R3. We'll see. And the Volley Bear coming out. We've seen Etrium play this Volley Bear a few times this season already. So, big, fast-paced bruiser, jungler, can turn off turrets. Does a lot of good things. Not great when behind. So we'll see how Big Brains ends up taking it. And we see the Jhin Sona getting locked in. So quite a bit of poke coming out. Sona is a really solid enchanter answer to the Milio. Definitely scales a lot better. And overall, I really do like picking the bot lane early here. Especially for Hidekis. They don't want to try and ban him out. But then we get a Vayne answer here. So is this going to be Bird's Vayne, or is one-handed going to give us something a little bit different here? We shall see. Malzahar ban coming out makes a lot of sense here. Though Malzahar's value does decrease with the Volley Bear and Milio Cleanse. Yasuo coming out, so the mid laner's absorbing quite a few bans here. And we'll see what Caster Curse also wants to throw out there. Lysandra as well, so definitely wanting to get the CC mages off the table here for Big Brains. Kazulan had a really nice showing on the Ziggs. Game 1. So we'll see what Big Brain wants to take away. And the Kog'Maw getting taken away. So they're kind of on the fence if that's a Vayne AD or top lane, but wanted to get the Kog'Maw out anyway. So we'll see what Caster Curse wants to pick here. Croesus kind of has his pick of the litter of what he wants here. Let's see what he pulls out. Oh, and they're going to leave the Croesus with the last pick here is one-handed. Pulls out probably his signature champion that we've seen this season. And he's going to do his best to make me yell Falcon Punch with all of the epic W's he has had this season. So, set into the Ornn matchup here. Maokai coming out for Cosmic Mo here. So now we do have some beef and we do have some utility out of Sona. Let's see what Kazulan wants to pick here in mid. There are some high damage mids still up, and I actually don't think a Poke Mage or something like a Lux Syndra is terrible here. But let's see what he wants to take. Aurora coming out. So, okay. Aurora is a very nice burst mage, has a big AoE ult, and can uh, play very tricky and very witty with that ult and the invisible W here. So Aurora being a really nice safe blind pick here into certain mids. And a Kali coming out here for Caster Curse. Okay. This is a new champion Croesus has yet to show us here. Also, Vayne Milio bot lane is going to be pretty hard to deal with. So, looking at these two comps, though, I will say that Caster Curse definitely wants to win through snowballing. I think there's a lot of range and a lot of CC overall coming out of the big brains. All mechanics comp here. Lots of AoE damage. And because of how short range Caster Curse is, the AoE damage increases in value. If Aurora gets off the ground, she can make life a living hell for the Akali and the Vayne. Akali will win in the side lane if played correctly here. The other thing that was interesting about the Akali is you have a Maokai available.
Shall I turn in my
You can
badge
just
and
R the
rifle as
Shroud,
well?
guarantee that she's going to be CC'd up, and then coming out of that Shroud will be able to W. So there is definitely some counterplay for big brains here into this Akali, but the set Vayne, Volibear, Milio kind of four-man ball is going to be pretty hard to deal with. There is no dedicated tank for Caster Curse, so Jhin does have quite a bit of value here. I just look for Caster Curse to really keep the pace of this game going up and snowballing off of that. If they don't, Big Brains does scale quite well. I'm going to hate life this game. Why is that? What's going to make you hate life here? Akali is very annoying, but Aurora is one of the few champions that can stand toe-to-toe with her in mid lane. Again, Akali does kind of outscale her and beat her in the side lane. But Aurora's not looking to take this fight to the side lane. She wants to be able to get the first move on like Vayne, Milio in the team fights and start it there.
Foolish. Never sleep.
So we are locked in and ready to go here in game two. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. What comps you like? Who do you think is going to take this game two here? So, while we are waiting for the spectator delay, we will run another 3-minute ad, and then we should be good for the game. All right, here we go with game two of Caster Curse versus Big Brain All Mechanics. Caster Curse on the red side did take game one, and what was a pretty competitive game early, but then they snowballed a lot of the dragon fights, excuse me, and Void Grubs fights
30 seconds until
quite
minions
well.
spawn.
And You know, big bring all mechanics. They stood their ground quite well. Kazulan kind of stood out game one with a few solo kills onto the Ziggs Cassio matchup. But now we'll see what happens here. We have one-handed gaming on his Falcon Punch machine here,
Minions
and
have spawned.
Croesus kind of playing a champion that is his style of champion. Going with the electrocute and the ignite here. Also took the dark seal refillable start here. Interesting that you're gonna take refillable without TP here. I think that's already a little bit of a loss to shopkeeper. Didn't bring resolve either, so if he takes a bad trade, this is not gonna be fun for this Akali here. So, but can put out quite a bit of damage with the setup that he's running here. So let's see, already chugging a refill here in the mid lane, but getting a really nice trade here on the Kazulan. Nice W from Leanthor here. So Akali E does go wide. Bird and Pens ends up getting the level 2 about the same time Shrieks does. But Pens delaying quite a bit of that damage here. Flash Ignite coming out from Croesus on this level 2 all-in. Flash having to be burned from Kazulan. Etrium, though, going topside. Nice E coming out of one-handed here. And we already see the big W coming out. First blood for one-handed gaming on this set. We do see Croesus, though, getting ganked pretty early. Flash came out of Cosmic here. And Cosmic, though, ends up trading 1-for-1 there. So, really, really nice heads-up play from Cosmic Mo. Etrium, though, is here. We'll have the Flash Q come up. And the junglers making a statement here in the mid lane. Both trading kills off their mid laners. I will say this is probably a little bit of a better trade for Kazulan, as he brought TP and didn't bring the Ignite. So, I also, now that I'm seeing more and more of the team comps in-game here, stun coming out of Leanthor and a nice knock-up. W does go wide there. Missed the true damage part of it. I'm very curious to see what the build for this Volley Bear will end up being. Cosmic Mo, though, down. Bird having to burn the cleanse. Heal coming out of Pens as well, so nice gank. Cosmic Mo keeping this tempo up early. Yep, Feet of Warfare already taken out by Caster Curse. Heavy trading here for this top side. So, though Leanthor does have the Tear of the Goddess here, so he's wanting to stack up Winter's Approach here. Stun did not hit, but one-handed does get Leanthor again with the W here, so one-handed just showing that this Trundle, the set, you gotta find some answers to them or ban them here. Though the first gank for Etrium was pretty clutch up in the top side to get one-handed going here, so. So nice dodge on the gank here from Kazulan. So, Vayne up just a little bit of farm here. Vamp Scepter is going to be very, very useful. Etrium visiting this top side again. Stun coming out. Ult available for one-handed here. He's trying not to burn it, but ends up having to burn it. And Croesus ends up getting one back here on the Kazulan. 1-6 now here. Still only 2k up. So, plenty of time for Big Brains to still mount, but this is the type of lead that you do not want to give this Caster Curse team comp here. Bird going in with the ult, getting sped up here by Pens, but Hidekis being able to speed them out of that. So, ult down for this Vayne here. Cleanse, though, getting ready to come up. Well, that was an interesting W there. I think Kazulan meant to jump over, but was unsuccessful, but still was very witty enough that Croesus did not expect it. But yeah, this Akali is going to start becoming very, very difficult to deal with here. Pen's getting caught out here from Hidekis and Shreeze. Vayne, though, with a nice stun here. Cosmic Mo in the area. Flashing forward here. Oh, Kazulan gets one back here. Croesus in the river, though. Trying to get one back. And Kazulan just barely survives. Now we have a duo here between the ADs and the bot side here. But that ends up being a 2 for none in favor of Big Brain. All mechanics here. Oh, Leanthor mistiming the Ornn ult here. If I'm not mistaken, is that Heartsteel coming out for one-handed gaming here? So, not doing the traditional offensive set build. That is Heartsteel here. At 9.5. So, I don't necessarily disagree with the Heartsteel here. Ignite coming out on the Kazulan. His TP still has a few seconds from being up here. So he's going to stay in lane. And this is an Infernal first Drake coming out for Caster Curse. This Drake hits so hard with their team comp here with the Akali, the Volley Bear. Hidekis getting caught out here. Nice stun by Shreeze. And Sona, though, going here. They're looking to potentially fight. Shreeze, though, opening up here. Ends up getting the shutdown. And Bird, though, ends up having to cleanse Flash. Dodges the W. Croesus, though, is in the area. Misses the E here. Mo should have W coming up here real soon. And he ends up CCing. One-handed gaming had the TP to the top turret. We do have Shriso with the force shot, picking up 2 kills in that river fight. One-handed did TP bot side, so I think him alone should be able to persuade them from not taking Dragon. Etrium and Bird are on their way here. Alts are missing, and one-handed pelting Cosmic back into the team here. Stun goes awry. Etrium with the flash stun though on the Cosmic here. So a little bit of an overchase coming out of the Big Brains team here. An Infernal Drake getting picked up by Caster Curse. Even though the end result did not go fully in Big Brain's favor, they did pick up quite a few kills there. So we're now sitting at 5-8, and it ends up being only a 2k gold lead, though the Infernal Drake is a pretty massive pickup, along with the 3 grubs. So we just need the objective feats getting taken away. Oh, Croesus, though, going under turret here, ends up getting electrocute procced here by Kazulon. Aurora's ult's going to be up here pretty soon. Croesus will have the same ult up, and he also will have Ignite coming up, so this could be a pretty tense situation mid. Kazulon, though, does have the item advantage with the completed Ludens. Croesus, though, with the completed boots here. Leanthor, though, looks like he's going to get hit up by Etrium. They don't commit the Volley Bear ult here, but Leanthor does end up proccing his ult to persuade from the dive here. Oh! And a 1v1 coming mid lane as Croesus and Kazulon trade kills. Both of them on their first items, so Croesus, though, on the Lich Bane here. We have a fully completed Thornmail up in the top side by Leanthor, so that is an interesting pickup. For anybody who watched Midwest Weekly, I'm just overall not a fan of this. The Thornmail rushes or early. Like, get the Grievous Wounds, and then there's other items here. I mean, you're against virtually quad melee here with the very short-range Jhin, so Unending Despair has a lot of value. Or even Sunfire. But we do see one-handed again. He ended up electing for this Heartsteel. We'll see how these start to stack up as the game goes on. And we also got to keep track of the Sona stacks here, as she is one of the best scaling supports in the game. So she is almost fully out on stack. She's a little over halfway on the stacks here. We do see Cosmic Mode there sitting in the wings of this bot side. And one-handed just trying to do what he can to push this turret. But he will end up taking this turret away from Leanthor. But a fight in the bot lane here. Cosmic did end up completing his back. Hideki is taking a boatload of damage here. Etrium turning off the turret, and Shriek's just getting just pummeled here as Bird ends up taking a double kill here to put 2 kills on this Vayne. He actually almost died the turret. Just those 2 turret shots did so much damage. Kazulan taking a bullet of damage here. The passive coming out of Akali plus the Lichbane proc is quite a bit of damage. TP though for Leanthor coming in just to help his mid laner. Oh, but we see the W come in. Kazulan though ends up still falling there. Ornn knockup goes wide here, but one-handed still sitting here. Remember, this is a full tank set as of right now, so not outputting the most damage. Etrium is in the area here. Heartsteel proc goes onto Mo, so one-handed procking up this Heartsteel. And I see a Tunneler coming in, so potentially an Overlord's Bloodmail. Nice W from Leanthor. Block the stun. One-handed ult comes out. Shrieks though opening up like right in front of them. Ends up getting the shutdown. Bird in the back though. Getting taken down by Mo. Mo also looking at pins here. Double kill coming out for Croesus. R2 comes out. There's the triple kill here. And a really even fight coming out. Leandry's burn does not get pens here. You missed a pretty massive fight here. And posturing for this dragon. Croesus will end up falling. And shutdown's given over to the Big Brains team here. Jin got a shutdown, Maokai got a shutdown, and now Ornn got a shutdown here. So we're looking at less than a 2K gold lead now. How many times have Akali traded kills? Or if we're just talking about Croesus in this series in general, I think 5. He don't care. Though I think out of all of the trade kills that Croesus has went for, I think that one is probably the most egregious that didn't need to happen. Just because you're giving over a shutdown. Cosmic Mo getting jumped on Leanthor though. Hitting up the ult. Etrium though going to get taken down. Hidekis ends up picking up that one. Kazulan dealing with one-handed here in the bot lane. The Croesus is here, does not have ult. One-handed also in the area. Bird trying to clear mid lane. This could be this looks like it's going to be a Big Brains Dragon pickup here. And we see the Big Brains team putting up a big fight here. Down less than 3K. Tied up 1-1 on Dragons. Feats of Strength, though, over to Caster Curse, as we mentioned before. Croesus having himself 8 kills, but at what cost when you're giving up 6 deaths and a shutdown here or there. Big Brains could look at this Rift Herald here. Otacon is bot lane. Kazulon taking a lot of damage from the Sakali so far. Storm Surge completed, which is a massive pickup. Pens and Bird are also in the area. Akali does have quite a bit of movement speed, but does not catch up to Kazulon. So, more Heartsteel stacks coming out for one-handed gaming here. Kazulon looks like he's going to just have to give up this bot lane turret here. I would have loved to see them potentially attack the other side of the map for this Rift Herald here. Etrium, though, eating some damage here. Flashes away from the Jin W. Cosmic, though, looking at one-handed. Remember, this set is just all tank. The punches do not hurt that much. We do see the W coming out, but ultimately ends up not getting Shreeze here. Shreeze does end up falling from what I believe was the red buff from Etrium. So, interesting pickup here. Deadman's Plate completed for Etrium, so going definitely more of a movement speed, mobility type of build here. Shreeze, though, with the Ghost Blade and now the Rapid Fire Cannon, I do like this RFC second. I know it limits your damage until you get IE, but being able to just kind of poke from range here with maybe a 4th auto or something to that regard is going to be very helpful. Ornn items will start to come into play now that he is level 13. He went Thornmail into a Hollow Radiance, which is very interesting. Helps with picks. Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. I do think he needs to pick up this Winter Approach very quickly. Mo now going what I believe is to be a Unending Despair. Oh, but we see Big Brains are starting up this Otacon. Note they don't do this real quick, and Otacon does lower resistances. This could be a very, very ugly fight here if Caster Curse pulls the trigger. But one-handed TPing in. Bird is not here on this Vayne, by the way, so this will be a 4 for 5. Mo using the ult to zone out, and this is probably one of the great heists of the century here, with Big Brains taking this Otacon here and only dropping mid lane tier 2. Bird heading over to this top lane tier 2 now. So an Otacon is absolutely fantastic for Ornn here, as the added experience from the feathers get him to the next level quickly. And so he can upgrade items here. So right now, looking at the items he can upgrade here, I really don't think he wants to upgrade anything on Aurora or Jin until they get IE or Death Cap. Here, I think your best option is to upgrade the Unending Despair that Cosmic Mo has, just to give him an influx of tanky stats. Double Tunneler is just basically confirming that one-handed will be going Overlord's Bloodsmail. Leanthor, though, is able to just stick up against him in this fight. Oh, nice W from Leanthor to dodge the settled into the turret. Sona could be a good upgrade. Yeah, 100% with that as well here. But, Constellation Prize, the... Oh, Leanthor just smacking one-handed gaming here. And even though this set build, like, scales on paper, it just doesn't have enough resistances. Croesus going all in against Leanthor here. Flashes the E. Croesus, though, trying to make something out of his, donates the Flash and the Ignite coming out, but Mountain Drake gets taken up by Big Brains. Pens and Bird, though, chopping down this tier 3. Etrium in the area as well. So, nice cross-mass tempo coming out of Caster Curse there. The only thing I'm super afraid of is if they would have taken inhib, you're donating a lot of resources because your siege is very, very non-existent here. You're a pure all-in comp with a Vayne as like your late game insurance. Now, the one thing that Caster Curse has to avoid now is any pure team fight losses because they are absolutely screwed the moment Baron minions come into play if Big Brains does take out Baron. Because they have zero wave clear for Baron minions. I think he would live if he'd have kept running. I don't disagree with that. So knockup coming out, damage coming here for Croesus. He ends up having to use the ult here. MR boots out for Leandathor. So he's got quite a bit MR. Streets though having to flash away and ends up getting one shot here by one-handed and Bird. So Croesus making life pretty hell for Leandathor in his bot side here. But Leandathor, though, fighting back. Again, he has quite a bit of MR here. Let's see, he misses the ult here with the Shroud. But Hidekus is in the area. And he looks like he's going to end up taking the shutdown here. This is actually the part of the game where I'm okay with Sona absorbing a shutdown or two. As she's going to start to scale into this game. Bird, though, getting completely jumped on and taken out by Kazulan and Cosmic Mo. Kazulan forgetting to press R and drop the world in between, or the realm in between, and ends up bouncing back underneath the turret. So that is a feels bad, but still that get Bird off the map here as he now hit 3 items plus tier 4 boots. Shree's getting upgraded here. Alright, upgrade the Ghost Blade, which I don't think, yeah, it doesn't give you any lethality or movement speed, so you get the same amount of AD from that you would as an IE, so that's perfectly fine. Upgraded item coming out of Cosmic Mo as well, as we see just a boatload of tank stats coming out for this unending despair. So we do see the Hextech alternator picked up here by Kazulan, so going some form of like a pen item. This Akali's going to start losing the side lane push into Ornn quite heavily. They're jumping on the one-handed right now as he ends up ulting Cosmic Mo away. Oh my lord, Big W coming out here, but not going to get him net himself anything. Kazulan bouncing around in the ult here, and one-handed does walk away from this. Double kill here for the Vayne. We've seen Ornn ult was used topside against Croesus, but he found ways of dodging that. The Enthor is now pretty tanky, but I'm not gonna lie, Bird is Vayne, a 3-item Vayne. Hidekus though, with the shield, but it's not enough, and Bird just kind of going forward here. Milio ult comes out to save him. Shreese now popping the ult here. And double inhibs falling here in the base of Big Brain All Mechanics. And this is going to be their second Drake taken over here And now, potentially eyeballing the Baron. Here in about 2 minutes. Do you see LDR completed by the Jin, but still no IE? I love the LDR as like the pen item, but you're starting to get to the point in the game where I think Ghostblade just got outscaled, and you really, really want that IE. Moonstone Renewer completed on Hidekis here, so this Sona is going to start pumping out a bunch of heals and shields. I think this is going to be part of the game where she is the most effective. Croesus, again, looking to push this bot lane here. Has super minions, so now he's looking at more of a flank. W coming out here on the one-handed. He ends up taking out Kazulan. Doesn't get the W out. So one-handed getting taken out here before he can pop the W. Big Brains trying to jump on Cosmic Mo here. Leanthor not in the picture of this fight. Kazulan getting jumped on. Shriek's trying to fight back. Ends up getting one back in Croesus here. Bird shooting over the turret. Vayne is starting to become pretty hard to deal with here, especially with the Milio in the back pocket. But Shriek, though, if he's able to free fire, he's putting out quite a bit of damage. A little bit of server lag there, maybe. Baron is now on the table. I'm pretty confident Caster Curse, without an overstep from Big Brains, will need Baron to finish this push. There is a lot of resources going in the streets from these super minions. They shred this Baron quite quickly, so I don't think Big Brains is going to be able to approach. So, Cosmic, unsure if he wants to pull the trigger here. Croesus, though, just gets out of the Maokai W range here. Redemption coming out for pens. All the Orin items are upgraded here for Big Brains. Not even sure. So, AP, that's a decent amount of ability haste. So... yeah, I feel like this is about as good as a fight as you're going to get here. Earth Drake does come up in 1 minute. I don't think Big Brains mind giving this Earth Drake up. Baron taken by Caster Curse, but they're not really Baroning up the minions here. They're more so setting up a pick. So, it's interesting. One-handed, though. In this bot side jungle. Shriek, though, opening up. Croesus is on the backside here. So a little bit of a split fight coming out. Shriek, though, getting one shot here by Croesus. Hidekis trying to do his best. Kazulan gets one back. Cosmic Mo also helping the fight, but Bird, though, just completely popping off on this Vayne and the Rage Blade. And that's going to end up being a 5-for-1 in favor of Big Brain All Mechanics here. And Caster Curse is going to take this series in a dramatic 2-0 fashion here. Big Brains, though, putting up a hell of a fight. I think they're one of the only teams that has matched lane for lane. against Caster Curse, as Caster Curse really had to wait until they snowballed this mid game. Early game, it was quite an impressive showing here from Big Brains. So let's let's go over here and just look at game two real quick. Caster Curse will take the 2-0 victory over Big Brains here. But yeah, lead really didn't start ballooning here until about the 16-minute mark, and then it just kind of started going downhill from there. Um, bunch of damage coming
Yo.
out one-handed and Vayne. Yo, what's up, bro?
Oh, not much. You?
Enjoying some really solid League of Legends, man. And
Oh.
introduce yourself to our fans out there.
All right. So I am Pens. Basically, the support from Caster Curse. You may recognize me from the earlier Team or from my one Inti series in the first Caster Curse. But yeah, that's who I am. I play support, and that's basically it.
Might have heard him on a cast or two as well.
Yeah, I have been on a couple casts, I
Yeah,
suppose.
I've dragged you into the booth, yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah. What was your take on the series overall?
Um, I think I think their laning was really was pretty solid from both teams from what I saw. Like they did a good job of not letting the Inbird run away with a lead, especially in game two. Um, and yeah, I feel like the story of the game came down to more around like the fights around the objectives. So that's why game one seemed a little bit more one-sided, as I think we just had a few early plays that paid off for us. So we saw, for example, we saw Vi try to sneak the Drake and we could make a trap there, and we had a few plays like that really early that gave us kills and let us snowball the game. And then game two, they managed to contest us pretty well on a couple of those objectives, whether that was through setup or through draft. And so it made the game a lot more difficult for us to play and a lot more even. And I think they also had a bit more priority in the lane, at least in bot lane. I don't know about the other two, which made it a bit harder for us to play. But it was mostly a story of objective play, I think.
Yeah, I can definitely second that because it looked like they're in the first game they kind of got a little bit of the better part of you guys in the laning phase, especially in the mid jungle. Um, with Crosus getting over first blood and then only trading 1-for-1, but he got back in the game off that Void Grubs fight, which
Yeah.
was so big for you guys and your team comp in general.
No, I was very happy with the result of that fight. I think I agree.
Um, okay. Um, so kind of looking at the outlook of the league. I've kind of asked everybody this who came in the interview. What's your overall viewpoint of the league, and what's your thoughts of it so far with all these
Like in
teams here?
terms of like power ranking the teams, or just in
Uh,
terms of the general skill of us all, or
just
like what?
general skill, experience, just overall thoughts.
I
Now that
think
you're a few weeks into it.
yeah, the league is definitely more competitive than what I first anticipated coming into it. And I was in talks with you when you were actually like coming up with the idea of how it was going to work, and there was initially like a point system idea. So I didn't realize that it was going to be this many people who were this competitive, and I'm really happy with it. I know last time we put together a team in the rec league, it ended up being a little bit more one-sided. So it's really nice to see. I'd say at least the top half, possibly more teams able to like. It kind of feels like almost anybody can take a game off of almost anybody, with a few notable exceptions.
I don't disagree with that. I think I said that in week two, week three. Um, in one of the cast here. So yeah, I second that. I'm very impressed at just the competitiveness coming out of all these teams, and any team taking series off of it. We seen it with Bop It Twist It, and Misfits last week.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I
look,
might
sorry.
have to look into them for week seven. I might have to give their bot lane a bit more credit than I was initially going to. So
Hmm.
well played to them from that series, by the way.
Well, I the big question here is I gave Seven the microphone talking about the matchup versus Caster Curse. Well, you guys did what you needed to do, but Team Solid definitely needs to pick up a few wins, especially against a top team like yourself. You got any rebuttal or any words for Team Solid going into Week 6 here?
Well, I'll start with the respect. As he said, they did beat us in the scrim. He leaked that already, so way to go, Vader. Um, but but no, like out of the teams that we have left to play, I think that they are probably the one we have to watch the most closely. I could be wrong on that, but that's my read. They said they're not worried about the karma, and they had a good answer into it. But I do think that if I don't just blind it, if I actually draft it in a spot that isn't like a terrible spot for it, I don't think it's even gonna look close. So that's and your floor, Vader.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I do got one more for that. What about your top laner, man? One-handed. Is it anything that can stop this guy?
I don't know. Like we almost didn't find a top laner, and out of desperation, we went really far up north, and we found some troll guy who just seemed like an absolute psychopath, and put him in.
Well, seems to be working here. You know, it's I think you guys are probably the most difficult team to draft and just ban out. Um, because they're worried about your karma, they're worried about some of Bird's picks or even Crosus, but then you just keep letting this guy get Trundle, get set, and he just runs amok up there.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I think Trundle is probably the scariest single champion that we have on our draft list. I think we are slowly making it so that it's not just a ban Trundle and the game's easier against us, but up until this point, I'd say that would have been the case. Um, but I do have a joking, like I joke, I've got like a list of the must ban champs against us, and I think there's like probably like somewhere between 7 and 9 of them right now. So
Hmm.
I don't disagree, and I think there are other teams too where like we look and it's like it's a struggle to decide what are we letting through, what are we not. But I definitely think in terms of like single picks that are like kind of scary, we might have the most of those. I could be wrong on that.
I don't think that's an egregious statement. So, but well, I will let you go. It is starting to get a little late here on the East Coast, but glad you could hop in. Congrats on the very competitive 2-0 victory. I think Big Brains was probably the team that you found it looked like the roughest early game for you guys here. And that could be a little
Yep.
bit a part of you guys,
Right,
but Big
true.
Brains ended up showing up today.
Yeah, no, they absolutely did, and I'm really happy that they scrimmed us early because I think that's what put us in gear for like the entire league in general. So shout outs to them and also GG's. It was really good.
Hmm. Alrighty, my friend. Well, I will let you go.
All right, take care. Have a
Much
good night.
love. And that was Mr. Pens, the support and captain of Caster Curse, throwing down the gauntlet. So you heard it, Seven. You heard it, Souls. Now it's time to see you guys match up here in this week 6. So, but you know, all props over the to the Big Brain All Mechanics lineup. I thought they showed up. They played really well. This was definitely their best early games that they've shown this season, and they're still not out of it yet. They still have a very very competitive rest of the regular season going on. They do get Happy Jellyfish G League, and then they do have the gauntlet here week 7 against Bob and Twisted Gankit. So they can put together a few wins. They can still make this playoff push quite interesting here overall. But yeah, so that was our series. We still have one more we're waiting to hear scheduled, and that is the Bop It Twisted versus Happy Jellyfish G League series. So once that gets scheduled, uh, check the server out, and we will have that up on the cast. But for your boy CLT and the rest of the crew, which is just me, GG's. Y'all have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you again.